Hi Taurus, this is TaNaia coming at you today with your timeless reading. I was inspired to do these readings by sign when I recently got the Luminous Humanist Oracle cards. So these are the inspiration behind these readings. And as I said, these are timeless readings. My intention is to read primarily for the Taurus ascendant, but sun as well, if it resonates. And I'll get to your reading without much further ado. So I pulled from the Luminous Humanist deck. That is what you're seeing currently. Bottom of the deck was the card Reverse Bucket List, which I really like. You know, often we know of the concept of the bucket list, right? So the things that you would like to accomplish or do before you kick the bucket, as it were. But this card speaks about the reverse bucket list, which is more talking about reviewing the things that you've already done, or the things that have already happened to you, reviewing those experiences and seeing or looking into it and seeing, you know, what the highlights have been, noticing some of the great things that have happened to you, whether it's big things like big things you've accomplished, or even small things or small moments. And sometimes, you know, we forget about those moments, but just because we forget about those experiences, it doesn't mean that they don't leave a lasting legacy in our psyche. So this is very important. So this card is about gratitude. It's about reflecting back on what you've experienced and really seeing the light within the darkness. I mean, if you look at this image here, it's quite dark, but you can see the spots of light. So that's how I envision it, is you look at, you know, your whole life so far and try to find moments of light that have come and notice those and revel in those, right? So the card that actually fell out was this beautiful card, Turn Up Your Radiance Dial. Now, I think this is really interesting because I also read astrology. According to soul astrology or esoteric astrology, Taurus is the sign of illumination and detachment, but illumination. So here's your card, Turn Up Your Radiance Dial. So, I mean, this is to me about turning up your brightness, right? Or your light. Marianne Williamson actually says that it's not the darkness that frightens us, or our darkness that frightens us, but it's actually our light that frightens us. So it's important to be reminded to turn up your light as Taurus. That is, you are the sign of illumination. And remembering that our light is dynamic. So at sometimes it might feel like there's a bit of a dimness, and we need to be reminded to turn it up. So I really like this card for you. So essentially, I think I would say that as Taurus, you are turning up your radiance dial. You are either being encouraged to turn it up, or you've recently done that. And you do that by reflecting and reviewing on what's already happened in your life, and appreciating the things that have got you to the point where you are, right? And detaching from things that you might view as negative or dark that have happened, and concentrating and focusing on the light in your life. So that is the main message and the main theme for the reading today. Now, what I have done is I have also made this reading a pick a card, which means you can pick a card and pick a story based on archetypes. Now, archetypes are basically patterns of being that we are. So you can either choose. These cards were pulled from the archetype cards by Caroline Miss. So you can choose using your intuition, whether you want whether you resonate with card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. You can use your intuition to see which story will resonate with you. I also like to use both sides of the brain, so the intuition as well as the intellectual, I suppose, part of it. I think that there's value, especially when we come to talking about grounding, right, our luminosity on earth. So I will also give you an opportunity to see the archetypes themselves and to choose based on which archetype you think will resonate with you best. So if you just want to use your intuition, this is the time where you pause and you skip ahead to the timestamp for the card that you chose. Otherwise, I will start revealing the cards. And so we have the first card being the Prince, the second card being Don Juan, and the third card being Child Eternal. Interesting cards. So have a look, see what resonates to you, and then I'll meet you at the timestamp that you feel resonates with you. It's important, I think, also to mention that with the archetypes, these could be archetypes that are being most present, right, in your life at the moment, whether you yourself are embodying these archetypes or people around you are embodying these archetypes. So you can choose based on that. Take a moment and see what really resonates with your inner being. Yeah, and then choose based on that, and then I'll meet you at the timestamp for the one that you've chosen. Okay, so if you chose card number 1 or the Prince, well, this would have been the archetype that you chose, the Prince. The light attribute is romantic charm and potential for power. The shadow attribute is using power for self-aggrandizement, right? So for your own personal benefit, or for yeah, sort of puffing yourself up. That's what that word makes me think about. So when I look at this card, you know, I think about, so the Prince. The Prince is the ruler in waiting. It's the king in waiting. It's someone who's learning how to use power for the greatest good. It's someone who's learning the difference between power and control, and the best ways to get power, and sort of learning that the best way to work with power is knowing that power comes from within, empowering self and empowering others. So that is the Prince. So you might resonate to that. Maybe you are someone who's dealing with a situation that requires you to learn how to use your power, or be empowered, or there's someone around you who's exhibiting this. So for the Prince archetype, I then pulled 3 cards from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle to find out more about the Prince archetype here. And 3 cards came out. The first card that came up was the North Star. Flip your inner light switch. So I think this is really really resonating with the theme of the reading, which is turn up your radiance dial. So this is talking about your North Star, right? Flipping on your inner light switch. So when we talk about the North Star, we're talking about guidance. We're talking about the internal light that you have that's always burning, that guides you to wherever you need to go. So in this quest for learning about power or being empowered, remember that you always have the guidance within you, right? And that you can switch it on at any time that you want. And switching it on for me really talks about being aware of it, because it's always there. The only difference is whether you're aware of it or not. And once you're aware of it, then you can turn up the dial, right? So when we're talking about the North Star and this guidance, one way to work with it is to ask yourself, what would my higher self do in this position? And to really listen, trust, and have faith in the vision that comes to you, right? Or in what comes to you as a result of that, because that will be your inner guidance. So very useful in you learning about using your power for good, embodying that power and helping others. The second card that came up was divine discernment. Step back to find clarity. So divine discernment. So discernment is about being able to basically see the, what do they say? See the wood for the trees. It's being able to see your way, to find your way, right? What is the best decision in this scenario? And once again, this is why this works very well, because with relying on your inner guidance, this this discernment is going to be so much more clearer. And the card says step back to find clarity. And as we spoke about right now, to find that inner guidance, you have to step back and step within, right? So it's talking more about reflecting, more about being in feminine energy, in yin energy, as opposed to yang energy. So it's not really time for big actions at the moment. It's time to look inside yourself. It's time to reach inside yourself and to see that the power is inside and not outside, and to find the guidance from within. And then the last card that came up was Dream Sanctuary. Attend to the simple things. Now, Dream Sanctuary, if you think about it sort of literally, a sanctuary where you dream is basically your bedroom. So that's the place where basically all your walls come down, right? You are basically cocooned in your bed. If you think about it, at night, you're cocooned in your bed. All your guards are down. And you might even, have dreams. So this is, again, for me, talking about an energy of reflecting. It's an energy of not necessarily acting. It's talking about dreams, right? So emphasizing your expansive nature, and all of this you access through being still and going within. What else? Yeah, so I think that's basically it. So if I look at all these three cards, I would say that you are someone who is learning how to deal with power, right? Either from yourself or from someone else, whether it's control games or power games from someone else. And the guidance here is you have your inner light, turn that radiance up, look into what you've already experienced and realize the great moments that have happened, right? And things that you can learn from there. Gain clarity by going inside, right, to your inner guidance. And I think also your dreams can actually help you. Your literal dreams, I think, can actually help you to resolve whatever the situation is, or the challenges that you're facing with regarding to the sort of power energies, whether we're talking about empowerment of self, or whether we're talking about someone trying to exert their power over you. The last card that came out, well, I then pulled the last card from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle as the guidance card. And as you can see, the card that came up was Return to Joy. We are here to experience joy. So I think this card really is saying, whilst you're dealing with everything that you're dealing with, do remember that actually it's all about joy and love, and that at the end of the day, you have to return to joy. Now, I will read from the book, and this will be the wrap-up of the reading. So, return to joy. I think it's a really nice juxtaposition, right? You're dealing with all of this, these power sort of dynamics, but remembering that at the end of the day, we have to return to joy. So, trusting in the divine plan and knowing we should enjoy every moment in our life are the first steps towards freedom from mental and spiritual pain. Let me hold this card up. Right. We all have bad days, even weeks, when we fall down in our ability to be happy. No matter how long we live, if we cannot enjoy our prosperity, we are refusing the divine gift of love. Dear one, life can be hard, but happy people are those who tend to move through hard times with an attitude of clarity versus victimhood. Unhappy people are those who see themselves as victims of life. They see what has happened to them rather than finding a way through and out of it. Concentrating on what's wrong in this world versus what's right does not lead to a happy life. So the mantra here is, I am here in this world to experience joy. I dedicate a portion of my everyday life to turning off all technology and slowing the pace of my life. I celebrate the present moment and live in gratitude. So I hope that resonated with you. You'll hear that some of the things that were mentioned actually here had to do with some of what we've already discussed, right? Talking about slowing down the pace of your life, realizing what's important in your life, and remembering that actually we're here to experience joy. So that's the advice from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. Now, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If this is where you leave me, if you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, comment, and if you are interested in getting in touch, my details are below. If this is where you leave me, I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you next time. Hi Taurus, so this is for if you chose card number 2. Card number 2 is Don Juan. The light attribute is spotlights your positive seductive qualities, and the shadow attribute is using power of romantic attraction for private agendas. So what I get from this card is about the power of attraction, right? So this is someone who has powerful magnetism and is an attractor, and is burning at a higher wattage than normal, and probably your medium of expression is in relationships. So you're very good at attracting the right relationships and working through the relationships, and that's how you basically have gained your, like, I want to say power, but understanding that when I say power, and maybe the better word would be your illumination. You've gained your illumination through being a powerful attractor and having that magnetism, and that's how you're turning your radiance dial up. So this is very interesting. It seems like we're talking about someone who's really powerful. Obviously there is a shadow aspect of this, which, to be honest, I'm not really getting. So, but I'll just mention it. So this could be someone who's obviously using seduction and attraction for their own private agendas, for their own selfish needs. Perhaps you've got someone like this around you, and yet you've managed to turn up your own radiance dial. You've gone through all those difficult experiences like that, and that has helped you to turn your radiance dial up, your enlightenment up. And that's how you've been able to deal with it. In fact, if we think about this reverse bucket list, right, reflecting back on new experiences that you've had, you may then be able to see the light in those experiences and what you've been able to learn through those experiences. And that may very well be true, because some of the cards that are here on the table are really showing me someone who has basically reached the point in their life where they have turned up or are turning up the radiance dial to maximum wattage. So that's really exciting. So if this archetype resonates with you, you are in a really good place, and you know, things can only get better from here on out. So I'll just, without further ado, let me just show you the cards that are on the table. So 3 cards from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. The first one is, you hold the key to an awakened life, set yourself free. Right, so again, you know, I see this in 2 ways. If you are still in a situation perhaps where you are dealing with a Don Juan, this is basically reminding you and telling you that, you know, you can actually set yourself free. You do hold the key to an awakened life. But perhaps that is not the case with you. Then really, when we're talking about an awakened life, we're talking about being awakened to your true self, right? To your true identity as a spiritual being. Being aware of all your gifts, your strengths, and your genius. So you hold the key. I like this. So it's kind of like you are at the precipice, right? You may have gone through something, for whatever reason, for you to get to this point where your power of attraction and magnetism is so high, you obviously have gone through a number of things, whatever the situation, and you now are at a point where you are about to unlock the greatest version of yourself, basically. So the second card that came out, and it's interesting because the first card was a 41 and this card is a 14. So if you're into numerology or you care about numbers, so it's very interesting that these cards mirror each other, and I think they actually resonate with each other as well, because this card says, where you are is where it's at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. So like, once again, this is telling me that you are at the precipice. Like, where you are, it's where it's at. You are at the precipice of an awakening to another level, right? So this is, as you might know, awakening is not just like a one-step process. We go through multiple levels on the spiral of awakening. So you're about to go to another level of your awakening journey, and you've done the work, and there's no reason to have FOMO, because where you are, it's where you're at. You've done the work, and now you're on the precipice of the next level. Really nice. And then the final card from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle is, time for a quantum leap. Prepare for a makeover. I mean, all these cards are basically saying the same thing, is that you need to be ready for your spiritual glow up, essentially. Prepare for an upgrade in your radiant style. Remember though, right, that with all of this comes change. Hopefully, like, if it's not your first time going through it, you will know that with all of this comes change, and sometimes the change can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's all for the purpose of turning up your radiance dial, of turning up your illumination. As I said, as a Taurus ascendant, or even a sun, your goal really in this lifetime is to be illuminated. So you are really at that point where you're about to level up to the next level of your illumination, which is amazing. And the best thing that you can do is get curious with what comes up. Meditate, take some time to really be ready, right? And as this card said, stay still until you're divinely moved. So Spirit has got your back, but you're about to take a quantum leap. So this doesn't seem like a minor jump that you're about to do. So very, very exciting. Now the final card I pulled was from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle, and this I always pull as the advice card. So the card that came out was, you are unique, be yourself, everyone else is taken. So very nice, especially when we're talking about the fact that you are about to have more of your true identity be revealed to you. So let's have a read, and this is going to be the wrap-up of the reading. So it's, you are unique. So you are unique. Everything in the universe has a certain way of being that determines its uniqueness. No one is created to imitate another. The deeper we reach into the well of our soul, the more we can draw from it. The way an artist lands the brush on the canvas is their unique expression. If we copy everything from others, we miss the point of our individuality and the oneness of our divine self. Dear one, be bold and explore what it means to live life on your own terms. It sometimes requires you to go against what others expect of you. Refuse to conform. Create new ways of doing things. Follow your own path and set your own goals. Move to the beat of your own drum. There is little benefit in being ordinary just to fit in. Let others know that you have come here to experience wonder and to spread joy. Beloved, you are an original, an individual, a masterpiece. Your uniqueness comes from your imagination, your experience, your feeling, and consciousness. Experience more, imagine more, and feel more to elevate your conscious awareness. Isn't that beautiful? So the mantra here is, I am here to live a uniquely creative life and to be true to myself. So that's the end of your reading. I hope that this resonated. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. Happy to hear from you always. If you need to get in contact with me, my details are in the box below. If this is where you leave me, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you the next time. Hi, so you would have chosen card number 3, which is Child Eternal. So the light attributes are determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, and the ability to see things with fresh eyes. The shadow attributes, it's the inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. So this really makes me think of the inner child. So if this resonates with you, you are someone who is very much in touch with your inner child. You've been able to do that, and often, it's not an easy process to be in touch with your inner child. There's a lot of things that as we go through life that cause us perhaps to separate from our inner child. I really like this image here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like they're flying through the air, which really to me represents the inner child. It's about playfulness, it's about joy, right? So being in touch with that youthful enthusiasm, refusing to be jaded or cynical because of the experiences that you've gone through. And I think it goes very well with our theme, because the reverse bucket list is about, looking back into what you've experienced and seeing the light in that. So you've been able to do that in order for you to reconnect with your inner child, right? And as a result, what's happening is you are turning up your radiant star. Your illumination is coming forth, right? as Taurus ascendants, that is the goal for this lifetime, is actually to be the light, right? To let the radiance shine through, to let the illumination, to experience illumination and let the light shine forth. And actually, all the cards that are on the table are saying that you have done the work and you are at that point where you can embody the light and be the light. The first card that came out from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle is become the elixir. Let your glow do the heavy lifting. I really like this. Let your glow do the heavy lifting. So you don't actually have to do anything or say anything. You have gotten to the part where you embody the elixir, being the medicine, being the light. So you are light. You are the illumination. And you don't really have to say much to help others. You can be yourself, and by being yourself, you're modeling what does being illuminated mean, right? I mean, I think that's really exciting. You basically have the spiritual world now, and you can just be yourself and radiate your light and turn it up. The second card that came out, still, confirming this and going with the theme, is you've won the lottery. Make room for wonderment. So yeah, absolutely, you've done the work, you've reconnected with your inner child, and now you actually make room for wonderment. You're actually about to experience even more amazing miracles in your life. And if you think about the fact that you've won the lottery, maybe you don't feel like you've won the lottery, but this is where this reverse bucket list is really helpful, this card, because it talks about being grateful for whatever you've experienced. And so if you look at it from the eyes of gratitude, then you're able to see that actually, you know what, everything that I've been through has actually been for my benefit. And as a result, I can see how I've won the lottery, because all of those things have enabled me to get to a point now where I can embody the light, where I'm reconnected to my inner child, and I'm able to find the joy and see the joy and be the joy and model that for other people and help other people as well. So the last card that came out from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle is there's no place like home. Nestle into the sweetness. I mean, just more of that goodness. So now that you realize that you are the elixir, right? You are glowing. You have so much to be grateful for. Now it's time to nestle into that sweetness, right? Really take a moment and recognize the sweetness that you've been able to access, right? Revel in it. Take a minute, and remember that you've always been home. That's always the realization, right? There's no place like home, but you've always been home. And sometimes it takes going through all that you've gone through for you to realize that actually I've always been home. And this is a beautiful feeling, and it's a beautiful realization. And that's really what we talk about when we're talking about illumination, right? It's about realization. You are realizing that actually, now that your radiance is turned all the way up, you are realizing that you've always been home, you've always been safe, right? And you've always been loved, and you've always been loved. And really, the thing that I would implore you to do is to share this with others, right? Once you can see how much goodness you are in, and you've been able to work through your own challenges and enjoy this moment, you can then help others to feel the same and to see that, they are also always home. They are also, they've also got a lot to be thankful for in life. Now, the final card that came out, again, like on theme, drunk with love. Let love lift you to freedom. So, I mean, it just seems like you have an abundance of love and light, and I mean, this is amazing. If this is you, this is truly, truly amazing. And it means that you've gone through a lot to finally get to this point where you can embody. I mean, it means a lot to embody this archetype, right? Being able to look at everything with fresh eyes, not jaded, being able to see the love, to be the love to others as well. So, final card is Drunk with Love. I am going to read from the book. This is the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. And this will be the wrap up for the reading. So, when life is mundane and waking up in the mornings is void of excitement, it means we are pulling away from our dreams. This is when we need to improve our personal lives and make a positive change in our relationships. Being drunk with love removes the barriers that have held us apart from the divine and from the world. Now is the time to focus on love and on giving from the heart, perhaps to rebuild an old love connection or to initiate a fresh start. Right? So I really like that. Once you open your heart to a vision of love, it transports you into timelessness. You feel a love blessing that lets your imagination lend its wings to lift you into new visions. The quality of your life becomes enriched with great ecstasy, and you will be guided into new ways of creating and expressing yourself. When you are drunk with such love, you create moments, create your days, and create an exuberant life. That's exactly where you are. This is amazing. It's really, really beautiful. And I like that it starts off by giving you guidance on how to live this every day, right? So the mantra is, I am opening my heart to let love renew every day of my life in the highest and purest way. I let love make me new in every moment. Oh, that's beautiful. I let love make me new in every moment. I mean, that's really the best thing that you can say to someone who is embodying this eternal child, looking at things fresh every day as if looking at them anew. So I hope you really, really enjoyed this reading. I know I did. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I also do personal readings as well as astrological readings. So if you're interested, you can find my contact details below. This is the final reading for you, Taurus. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.